Action. No. All right, we're back. D-pad chat. Got a couple things on the agenda. First, would like to reintroduce you to the one and only Battleship Boyd. Cue applause.
What's up? What we doing?
We're talking about Nintendo. That's what we're going to be talking about. We have to talk about what Microsoft did during E3 and after E3, and it is the most arrogant shit ever. They just obviously don't care. They're going to tell you what you want to buy.
Microsoft knows best.
They do know best.
I know best. Microsoft is telling you, you'll buy whatever you'll buy whatever we give you.
Really?
They think that.
I mean, if you don't have a good internet connection and think you won't be able to use the Xbox One, you could just buy a 360 and stick with that. That'll be your best bet.
He basically said we have a device for offline gameplay, and it's 360. That's what you'll have to stick to. Nobody has to stick to shit because if they want a next gen experience, they're gonna buy the PlayStation 4 at $100 cheaper.
Yep.
Without your bullshit, all your red tape.
Or a PC.
But they are so hell bent on milking you for every dollar you have, even after you bought the thing. They just won't even acknowledge, like, maybe we made a mistake. No, we're going to keep doing this so we can take all of your money. But they can't take money if you don't even own the system.
That's what you think.
It's not
You don't believe.
I don't believe. But,
you don't believe.
Let's see, we're going to start on that, or we're going to start on the Nintendo response?
I'd rather start on the high note, so I'll start with Nintendo. Nintendo didn't do an actual conference, for those that don't know. They didn't do a big, presentation as they done pretty much every year beforehand. They decided to go with their new Nintendo Direct service, and then also they did have a lot of stuff on the show floor, and then they apparently supposed to have all these Best Buy showings, which will tie into what Microsoft has been doing, but we'll get to that in a second. I thought, even though they didn't do a presentation, the stuff they showed was really good. I mean, you still don't really get a lot of new stuff as far as new IPs from Nintendo, but whenever they release their first party stuff, I mean, they're Nintendo for a reason. Like, they're going to give you some good stuff. Got to see more Pokemon, which I thought was really good, and then kind of disappointed in Mario, but at the same time, it still looks like it's going to be really good, especially with the 4-player aspect. Not online with the 4-player part, that's probably what disappointed me more than the new quote-unquote 3D Mario. But I'm still glad they're trying to do, more Mario content. So I think that was pretty good.
Yeah, I saw a lot of people were like shocked and disappointed that the next Mario game wasn't Galaxy. I was kind of glad that it wasn't. Like, I like Galaxy, but it would get irritating if they kept doing it over and over again.
Oh yeah,
I liked it. Like when they showed it, I was like, awesome. It's like the 3DS version. And then when I saw the other characters, I was excited. I was like,
I'm glad Peach is
playable. That's old school. Mario too. I was like, that's excited me about it. And
no turnips though.
There might be turnips. We don't know.
They might be. Yeah, it might be turnips.
Yeah, but it excited me for two reasons.
No turnips.
It excited me for two reasons. I was like, first of all, they brought back the cast from Mario 2. Peach is a part of that cast. Who are you saving? Like, what is the issue if you're still playing her? It'd be awesome if they brought King Wart back or something, which I'm sure they won't.
I mean, we just have to wait. See, well, I didn't think they would bring Galaxy back, even though it's the Wii U and not like a quote-unquote brand new system. I just thought, there would be some new, like, next step in the Mario, evolution as far as the main line of games. But, I mean, of course, there's still time, and you don't know. They can still say something at TGS or whatever other shows, or even at E3 next year. I don't think they're going to be done with making new versions of Mario.
No. It's like I had, like, my little cousins had Mario 3D Land on the DS. And I actually enjoyed that more than I did Galaxy, which I know some people might find hard to believe, but
it's a fun game.
Yeah.
It was 3D Land was pretty good, but I'm sure this one's going to be really good too. But I was kind of hoping something more like Sunshine.
Yes.
It didn't have to be anything like Galaxy, but just something.
I wanted something like open,
right?
Like open world like Mario 64. I wanted it on the planet instead of jumping from bits and pieces in space. Like I kind of got tired. There were levels, of course, where there was like one complete solid, world, like the Beehive Galaxy and things like that.
Right.
But I was kind of getting tired of Galaxy, and Galaxy did a couple of things that I felt were repetitive, and I felt like nobody wanted to just point it out because they were so in love with the game. But it was every time you got to Bowser, it was essentially like the exact same fight over and over.
Yeah.
And I was like, any other franchise does that, and they tore it apart. But because it's Mario, then nobody want to say anything. I was like each fight should have been unique. I didn't understand why it was the same fight.
And Mario gets a
Even
pass,
if-
man. Look at him. He's a plumber. He's jumping up and waggling that stick. You get a
Because
pass
even in
with that.
Galaxy, like every time you got to Bowser, he had like one new move, or there was one small, slight variation in the fight. But every time you got to his son, Bowser Jr., they were completely, vastly different fights. I was like, that's how you do it.
Yeah.
Even though all his fights were like with robots or something.
It didn't have to be, another Galaxy. It's just something in that same
Yeah,
vein
like
type
the
of
next
game.
step.
That's not to say that this new one isn't going to be good. I mean, it looks really fun. And like you said, it's got Peach in it. It's got Blue Toad instead of Red Toad. I mean,
I actually looked that up because you remember we were saying we weren't sure.
Yeah.
Because you remember on the Super Nintendo
Red Toad,
remake,
right?
the Super Nintendo remake, you were playing Red Toad.
Yeah.
And I said I wasn't absolutely sure
He
were.
was blue
in
on
Nintendo.
the NES.
Yeah, in the NES version, I went back and played it the other day. He is Blue Toad in the NES.
Oh shit! I think y'all lying.
Look it up.
But I mean, I don't know. It's just, every time they use a Toad character, I mean, it just seems kind of like a placeholder character to me. I mean,
like
I
a
would
red
have
shirt
seen
Star
like
Trek.
see like what would have been really cool
You don't
that
understand. Why
nobody
would
would have expected. They should have put like Donkey Kong in there. That would have been
Just
awesome.
throw everybody off. What up with you?
Hey, I'm in here now, and I'm saving whoever.
I'm
we
saving
save
the princess.
Peach is here.
So she's already here. Oh, well.
Oh, well, shit.
I'm not going nowhere, though.
Hey,
'cause
we'll
I
just,
pretty
you
much
know, we'll
cleared my
just run
schedule
I'm
out.
still here.
I mean, she's here, and she's not kidnapped. We'll still run the landscape and rake shit.
I'm in here.
I don't understand, like, when like, even in the new Super Mario Brothers games where you have, like, the two toads to play with.
Right.
Like, I don't understand, like, why don't they replace one of the toads with Toadette? Or why don't they give them names?
Yeah, something. Why can't you
Yeah.
play Daisy?
Make them a real character.
Yeah,
Daisy
you-
might be
that's-
kidnapped in those.
That's
Well, do we
probably
really-
it.
Sarah,
But if
Sarah,
she,
like,
look,
what
if she got kidnapped, will we really go rescue her, though? The way they treat her?
Poor Daisy.
Now, another thing I liked was Mario Kart. That looked insane. Like,
Anti-gravity Mario Kart.
yeah, they took it to the next level. I mean, I wasn't the biggest fan of 7. I'm sorry. I just like Double Dash more. But I look like this one might be the one that's going to, replace Double Dash for me as
Wait a
a
minute,
favorite
7
Mario.
was the 3DS version, right?
Was it?
7 was on
The Wii.
No, 7 was on 3DS, and then
Yeah, 6
they had
was
Mario Kart Wii.
Mario
Oh.
Kart Wii is 6, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I'm even upset they started naming them. I just liked the different weird names like,
Yeah,
Double
I
Dash.
kinda just like
to this day,
Mario
Double Dash
Kart
is
8,
still my favorite.
Yeah,
Like I
Double
said,
Dash was
I think the Wii U might set it up over the top though. I think that version may just be the new
Especially
main version.
The only hiccup I'm seeing is, like, please let the internet work like it's supposed to.
Man, that's what I'm nervous about too.
I mean, it's a lot better than what it was. I mean, you can play online with a 3DS all the time and don't have any problems. So.
Yeah.
Yep. The infrastructure is a lot better than it used to be.
Yeah, and I mean,
there was almost no infrastructure on the last one because
yeah. So it's
I
anything's
remember I tried to play Smash, dude. It was like watching a flip book.
I mean, yeah, it's kind of disappointing that the 3D Mario doesn't have online, but I think they're trying to promote playing on the couch with your family and friends. And I think it would be a little bit harder to make that work if it was online, but I don't know.
I just want the option. Like even if it wasn't like their focus, I think the fact that you don't have the option, it still like kind of limits it to a degree. But yeah, I mean, it's gonna be fun.
Yeah, I mean, and there's a chance they'll add it in the future because I mean they can do that stuff now. So
oh yeah, they actually can.
So you never know.
What else did they show? I'm trying to remember. Like they showed Pokemon X and Y, which was awesome.
Yeah,
they showed
the new fairy
Mario
type.
7.
Which might be interesting.
They showed. That's what I'm looking forward to, because that game looks awesome.
What?
And it's a Wonderful 101.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
I love the way that game looks. I love the whole concept of that game.
Yeah, and
that game is multiplayer.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, it is. I was surprised by that. I figured it'd be something like single player Pikmin type kind of thing.
Right.
I did too. Is it multiplayer online or is it anybody
I'm
know?
not sure if it's online or not, but
Yeah.
I mean, it is multiplayer and it's a new IP, so it's something that they really need.
Yeah, and it's by Platinum Games, which I mean can't go wrong with them so far. And they showed Bayonetta 2,
Yep. Speaking
which
of Platinum, Bayonetta 2, she's got a new
wow.
look.
They got that short hair look, which is somehow
Yeah.
hotter. I'm just gonna say that.
Yeah, you said you
Just gonna throw that out there.
Say that.
Um,
It's not weird.
so yeah, that looks really good. And then they
Yeah.
showed obviously Super Smash Bros.
Oh yes,
yes.
but and they introduced my boy Mega Man finally.
The
Finally,
lemons.
And you can
Shoot.
tell it's like he's fully updated. He's HD drawn, but you can still tell it's NES Mega Man.
right.
Like just
I mean,
the way his hand gestures are when he's in the air, the way he goes back when he gets hit.
his emotionless eyes most of the time. He's just blankly
I
staring at the
like
screen.
when he showed up like on the cliff with his
Yeah.
eyes open. They didn't even open; they turned on like TVs. I love it.
Yep.
And they showed a few more characters. When I first saw the villager, I was like, "What?" I'm like, "Okay." Then I saw him in action.
That's
I was
gonna be a
like,
problem.
"He looks pretty cool."
He looks like he got a lot of counter.
Absorb
Right.
like these
Yeah, he can
massive
absorb it,
projectiles,
pretty
but he's
much
gonna be a
anything.
problem.
I don't know if he can absorb a smash ball attack or not, but he could be.
Is
But,
the Wii Fit trainer is going to be in there too?
Yeah,
She
she's
is
gonna
there.
be in there. Now,
She is ready for battle.
Now, honestly, I saw her and I was like, "What are we doing, Sakurai? I don't know what's going on." And but the movie they showed with her, it was pretty funny, and they show her in action and stuff like that. She looks really good.
Yeah.
She's probably gonna be one of the more popular characters.
That
Actually,
smash attack looks
Yeah.
ridiculous.
Ain't no running from it. You gonna take that. You
I'm
gonna
going
get that
to
work.
the corner somewhere and try to hide.
Nah, you gonna get that work.
I'm gonna put Steven out there and let him take the blunt of it
Try
That's
to.
gonna
while I
happen.
get behind something.
I mean, and people were talking about, earlier we were talking about what possible third-party characters. I still think Sonic will be in there. I don't know if Snake will be in there, but I just feel like Sonic would more than likely be in there just because of the partnership that they're doing right now.
Right.
Yeah, what's the
Yeah,
next?
Sonic.
version?
Yeah, Sonic is probably. There's a good chance he's gonna be in there. Snake, I'm hoping he's gonna be in there. Because
I hate
doubt
to
they're
lose
thinking
characters.
Yeah, I hate to lose characters, but you know that
Some of those
Namco
Pokemon
is
ain't coming back.
Oh yeah, and Namco's got to put at least one character in there because you got so much of their team working on the game.
I just
And-
hope that it's not Heihachi. I don't care
No.
what character they
Oh,
put
I'm
in
so
there.
tired
hope
of
not.
seeing him.
If I see Heihachi, it's gonna almost make me not want to buy the game. I'm gonna buy the game. It's
If
gonna
anything,
happen.
it'll probably be somebody from probably like Lloyd, maybe from Symphonia.
If it's Namco,
It could be Pac-Man too.
Yeah, I'm
so-
saying if it's Namco, it's unavoidable. It's going to be Pac-Man. They're going to want
Yeah,
to
it
put an
might be
icon in there.
Yeah,
You know what's
Uh,
funny? They do have the anime license for like the American games for most of the Funimation animes. They could technically put those characters in there, which I'm pretty sure they won't. But the idea of possibly having somebody like Naruto or Goku or even Luffy or just anybody
no,
from those
Sakurai
things.
seems like super particular.
yeah.
Because he was in one of the interviews, he said, when he was asked about, adding Mega Man, he said he was very careful. He didn't want to just throw anybody into Smash.
Right.
Of course,
Which
you want to
which
be
I'm
tasteful.
glad. It's
There are characters I still want to see, and like
I would love to see Lloyd in there.
I would love to see like Gomon in there.
Man,
Because they said like there was actually a petition in Japan at one point where these gamers were trying to get him in, but they were like it was way too late anyway
yeah.
to add him as a character.
I mean, he's only been on Nintendo consoles anyway.
The only bad thing
no,
going for him
he's
is that
like
he has.
I don't know. He's been on he had some RPGs on PS1, but they never made it to the States.
Oh,
He hasn't had a game in a while. I mean, which is kind of a shame because he's a really good character.
Dude,
Yeah.
I love Mystical Ninja is like one of my top 10 Super Nintendo games of all time.
yeah. It's
a really good game.
classic.
And then there was one on Nintendo. They actually had two on Nintendo 64.
Yes, they
I only
did.
played the first one. It was really fun.
See,
It's like a 3D adventure.
Yep.
I need to get both of those games actually.
Yeah, it's pretty fun. I'm sure you could.
Oh yeah, I'm sure I could acquire
It might be on the virtual console, but there's other ways.
I know
to
I know
acquire it, so.
the Mystical Ninja was. I'm not sure about the ones for 64.
Yeah, I have Mystical Ninja on the Wii console,
Uh,
virtual console, but it's
And there's always a chance that they'll add characters later. I mean,
They got the option now. Again, they
have
do
the
have an
option.
online
So,
infrastructure now, so we do have the possibility of technically endless amounts of DLC,
yeah,
which, Nintendo's probably going to be real taxable if they do DLC.
Yeah.
But hey, they can.
Yep.
yeah, that's true. Uh, Kind of disappointed that I really wanted to see a new Advance Wars. Like it's such a good
Man, I
series
forgot about that.
Yeah.
that they just
3DS would do great with Advance Wars.
yeah, or they could. I mean, they could even make a version that's available on the eShop or something for download.
That
I
would
don't
be
know,
something that'll be really good cross-platform between the 3DS and the Wii U.
Now something else I
Equal
saw.
to tablet, actually. Yeah, the Wii U by
Yeah.
itself.
Yeah, something else I saw when they were showing, the line of games during the Nintendo Direct video. The game I saw that I was honestly most excited for was that untitled Xeno game.
Yep.
Oh,
Because it looks ridiculous.
yeah.
You
I
are
mean,
going to love
it. It looks
it.
awesome. I mean, I don't know what they're going. I don't know if they're gonna have it like a complete reboot. But based on the way it looks, the battle system, those super open-ended areas,
Yes.
dinosaurs walking around,
Dinosaurs.
it seems like it would be a direct sequel to Xenoblade.
Yeah, it does. It does look like it is.
And they've added like elements from Xenogears. Like they brought the gears back, but they call them dolls now.
I don't care what they call them.
And
They're there, and I want to play them.
They have. I mean, you manage fuel supplies like you did in Xenogears.
That upgrade them gears. I mean, upgrade them dolls.
At one point, somebody was saying, maybe it's Xenogears, and I'm pretty sure Square still owns the rights. Which
Yeah,
is
it's
why they
almost
did
guaranteed.
which is why Xenosaga started over all the way completely in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
Because once they left the company, they couldn't get the rights. And
Now, since I haven't played Xenoblade, and I know you have, Keith,
yeah.
is it connected to Xenosaga?
Oh, not at all.
So the whole Xeno thing is just kind of the name they use for
Xenosaga
them?
kind of wrapped up with 3, even though there was supposed to be an episode 4, if I remember correct.
Mm-hmm.
But it wrapped up more or less pretty well at the end of 3, but it's not connected to the other game at all. But
Well, it looks like that one may be. So, I mean, either way.
it's interesting because, I mean, like all the Xeno games before it, well, Xenosaga always had something in common because it was all one big story.
Mm-hmm.
But it had a lot in common in terms of like character designs and themes. And the entire time I played Xenoblade, I was like, okay, I get it why they call it that, and they actually renamed it. I think it was called Monado of the World at first, and they actually renamed it Xenoblade, to honor their creator because they say it put so much work into that game. So it was kind of like a throwback to his older games, which are the the Xeno series.
Mm-hmm.
But the more, I mean, like you play it and you think like, it does have, those 2 giant robots in it where the game takes place on,
Yeah.
And you think like, I get it, but it doesn't really have a lot in common with, with the older Xeno game. But then at the end, or toward the end,
Wait.
I'm not spoiling
watch
nothing.
spoilers,
I'm not
man.
spoiling anything.
Okay.
But toward the end, it is hardcore religion and robots like the other ones.
Those are my two favorite things.
So that's
Yeah,
basically what
yeah.
every Xeno game has in common. It's usually about religion, and it's always about robots.
Some big ass robots.
Yeah.
The ultimate robot to serve the ultimate religion.
The ultimate fighting robots.
But I mean, it's real refreshing, especially when you look at the other 2 conferences. A lot of them, all these like really dark, mature shooters, or
Everything is serious. Life is real.
everything is real serious. And then you have Nintendo.
They basically added color.
Yeah, basically. I mean,
So what was
it's just a nice contrast.
fun.
It's just a shame that the system isn't selling as well right now.
Yeah.
But I mean, the 3DS did either,
eventually.
so
This is going to help
pick
out a lot.
up.
Well, one thing that's really going to help it is Microsoft.
Yeah.
Of course.
Microsoft is pretty much.
Because there are people who, there are people like us, like eventually in time we want to have every system. And, there are some people who don't think that way. They'll think I just, I need the big systems for the games I want to play. They're not, a lot of people aren't going to want to buy the Xbox One at all.
Yep.
So
Yeah,
there leaves a gap there. If they want to get a cheaper system, then, they might pick up a Wii U.
I mean, it's like, what is it, $150 cheaper? That's
I mean, if you
don't
spend
have to worry about
100
any whatsoever.
Yeah, if you have an extra $150
Like
to go with your
3
system,
games,
yeah, that's like it's at least like You gonna set yourself up real nice. That's a nice little cushion for extra stuff.
Get an eShop card, download some virtual console games.
Exactly. You in there.
They also have some pretty good indie games up there.
Yeah.
Like Trying 2 and there's a few others.
Oh, Trying 2's on the Wii U?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's probably really good with that pad.
Yeah, they're going to be getting the Shadows of Mysteria, whatever, the Dungeons and Dragons.
It's both of them put together.
Yeah, I saw that game.
They're going to be, the other system's getting it too, but that's
Mysteria Chronicles, I think is what they renamed it.
Yeah.
You know what's weird? That they don't have Dragon's Crown coming out for the Wii U, and they do have the, what was the one game that they made for the Wii, Steven?
Was it Mirasara or Miramasa?
Miramasa, yes. And they're supposed to be doing another one of those. I thought Dragon's Crown would probably be a good game for that.
Yeah, it would be. It may come out eventually, but I mean, it's PS3 only right now, right? If I'm not mistaken. And it was coming out for the Vita, but I think they stopped that.
I thought it was only coming out for the Vita.
No, it's PS3 right now.
Wow.
Dragon's Crown, yeah.
Oh, Dragon's Crown. I thought you were talking about that re-release of Miramasa.
No.
Oh, no. Yeah, that's on the Vita only.
Okay.
You know what I haven't heard a lot? That's one thing I kind of missed from the conference was, and I know I kind of missed some of the conference to a degree, but I just didn't hear a lot of stuff from the Vita.
I don't know.
During Sony's conference, I didn't see like much from them about it.
They're trying to promote the
4.
Yeah, they're trying to promote the. It's basically gonna be like the Wii U, where you can use it as you can play PlayStation 4 games on your Vita if you want to, and stuff like that. So that might be a pretty good selling point, especially if you already have one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I still think they need to get some, like, we just need some heavy, like, I know Sony's probably going to do, like, a God of War and just a couple other, extensions of other games on there, but I would just like to see, like, something that's just made just for the Vita. Like what Nintendo does with 3DS is they take certain franchises and they're 3D, they're going to be handheld only, like Fire Emblem, like Pokemon. Like, there'll be some connectivity to them, and they did a Fire Emblem for the GameCube, but for the most part, those games are for the handheld. Yeah, they did. But, like the latest Fire Emblem, that was built from the ground up for the 3DS. Pokemon is built for the 3DS. Stuff like that. I just want to see that.
That's something else. That's something else I've noticed, which I think is a weakness for Nintendo, and a lot of people disagree with me about it. But Nintendo releases some awesome games on the 3DS, and it seems like some of those games should be developed fully as console releases to push the system. Like, why was the next Luigi's Mansion? That could have been a full console game.
Yeah,
and they're working on the next Mario and Luigi. Why not just bump that up to full development and make it a full 3D RPG?
Yeah.
Like they never. I understand why they don't do it with Pokemon because of all the trading and on the go kind of stuff. That's how that game works. But it seems like some of these games should have been developed in full for the console.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, I would want to think that they use it to kind of push the handheld, but they kind of just destroy that market, so they really don't need the names to sell it.
It's kind of like the 3DS is what's making them a lot of money right now, and you can keep pushing that forward with making all these good games for it, or you can take a chance and push development to the Wii U.
No, I'm not. I'm not saying all in total. It's just some of the stuff. Like I would have. I still plan on getting Luigi's Mansion too, but I would.
Yeah, Luigi's Mansion would have been awesome.
I would have loved to play that on the Wii U.
Well, I mean, especially with that
with
pad
the tablet. Yeah, with the tablet, you could have done a lot of interesting things with that.
And see, I think that's going to really, like, as time goes forward, because, I mean, as much as people want to say the system's underpowered, people still haven't unlocked the true potential of it. It always takes some years for everybody to get the true power out of any system. Yeah. So there's still a good ways for it to go as far as being able to do something different. And that pad is going to probably be able to do something, just going to be worked into certain games where not even if it's a third-party game, but just even a first-party game would just be made to where you would know, like, yeah, that wouldn't really work on any other system. So I think it's probably going to be a good time. I haven't got the Wii yet, and the Wii U. And I do plan on getting one. It's like you said, especially after
right now.
with Microsoft, that just pretty much freed up my Wii U money.
Microsoft is pretty much buying Wii U's for everybody else and giving them to each other.
I put Wii U second so far.
Yeah, I can understand.
PS4, then the Wii U, then the Xbox One. Maybe nothing.
Hey, and then nothing.
PC.
Nobody's putting up with
maybe.
them.
You know.
Yeah.
He said nothing. Yeah, I mean, it's just a bad time for them. And
Let's
I
get
mean,
into what happened. 'Cause
what didn't
I'm
happen?
just gonna say I'm gonna just
Where to
spell it out.
begin?
I'm gonna spell out what I saw. They rumors started circulating heavily at the beginning of this year about Xbox's, in-set DRM and their weird system.
Right.
So everybody's pissed off. Everybody's really worried. They hate the concept that this might be the next Xbox.
Mm-hmm.
So then they come out in May and basically confirm everybody's worst nightmares. Like, this is true. The internet explodes after after hearing from them firsthand, this is the truth.
Right.
Then the next week, they come out with a bulletin, a PR snapshot, a picture, saying, bullet point saying, here's this terrible PowerPoint of nightmares of what you're going to have to deal with. Everybody explodes further.
Yeah.
Like,
Thanks,
even us,
Microsoft.
even when we talked about it on here, we said we're going to wait till E3, and then we couldn't wait till E3.
No, they didn't let us. They didn't let you.
And then when E3 rolls around, they get up there and act like nothing is fucking wrong. They don't fucking address it. Everybody is like, you need to open your fucking mouth and say something. They're like,
No,
they don't say anything.
We just want to show your games. That's all we want to do.
Yeah, we need to show you games. We're not worried about that. You need to be worried about it. I mean, they didn't say anything. And then, fast forward 6 or 7 hours later, Sony comes out there and just fucking cleans house.
Yeah.
Because of all of this. Like, they just didn't want to acknowledge reality.
They made the PowerPoint about the DRM jokes and stuff after they saw Microsoft's conference. That's how fast they took advantage of it. Like, they just saw, like, oh, that's what you're doing?
I got
Okay.
a feeling they didn't even sell on the price until they heard what Microsoft said.
They didn't actually. That's what the rumor was.
That picture looks like it was just slapped together at the last minute.
Yeah, it was like making it on Microsoft PowerPoint. They said that they were trying to figure out what Microsoft said. And they said the lowest they could go would be $349. And if they did that, they would be losing a lot of money, but they would have no choice if Microsoft went that low. And when they heard $499, because their idea price was $399, they heard $499, and they said, we got them.
These motherfuckers is crazy.
They literally said, somebody from Sony said, we got them.
The only thing that I was thinking about, when they came out and said $399, and me and my cousin were here, we're laughing. And the only thing that popped into my head was like, you done fucked up, right?
Yeah, it's over.
Like, it's over.
Basically, it was over.
Still
It was
dukes.
over.
Like, I just don't see that. $4.99, really? I mean, I guess because you're getting the Connect with it. I don't know, but you got to have the Connect now. So
Doc said it a long time ago. That fucking camera was going to increase that thing by 100 at least.
Yep.
It's that camera, and you don't have an option not to buy it.
yeah, and it's kind of weird. Like, their past conferences, they had all these games focused on the Connect, and now when the Connect is required, they really didn't push any Connect games on this conference. It's kind of weird. They had maybe one or two, I guess.
D4?
That game D4 was Connect, like you could tell.
Yeah, all those hand motions we do.
Yeah.
You know what's bad? It's like, look, I get they spent a lot of money in R&D for the Connect. I get it. They wanted to tap into that market that the Wii had, which they can't even tap into that market anymore because that market was temporary.
Yeah.
Nintendo got the market when it was available. They ran through it, 100 million consoles. It's gone now. You can't re-get that market back because those people play tablets now.
Yeah, I'm saying that market is still there, but that market is on Android and iPhone.
Right.
They playing games when they sitting on the toilet. They flicking Angry Birds at each other. They're done. And now they're stuck with it and they're trying to push it. But the problem is that thing doesn't move units. They don't move games. They just don't. Like that. I got a Connect sitting here in front of me today. The only reason that my Connect was used today because a little 5-year-old kid wanted to play some games. And I just downloaded a bunch of demos for them. They were just moving from game to game to game. That's it. Nobody buys software for that thing like that, and you can't make them do it.
That's true.
Yeah, but now you can, talk to it like you're talking to the fucking
Look,
back.
that's a terrible idea to have that as your source of...
Yeah, like you're talking to the fucking back computer.
Dude, I'll put it like this. Me and Larry played some first-person shooters together, and we had a friend get in the party who was using his Connect as a microphone. Just him doing that alone was one of the worst experiences I've ever heard inside of a party. Now, the new system doesn't come with a microphone, and that's what you're supposed to use. So you got to multiply that by.
Come with a microphone.
No, it does not. The Kinect is your microphone now.
Oh, what's name has a microphone?
Really?
Yeah. Oh, Sony comes with a microphone.
Sony comes with a microphone. You stick it right into the bottom, and it's like a one earbud thing.
Yeah.
You can replace it with whatever you want. By the way.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm pretty sure. I mean, even though they haven't confirmed this, just from history repeating itself, I'm pretty sure those USB headsets will still work.
Mine better.
Probably.
I mean, I don't see
I'm
why.
talking on mine right now.
Exactly. So I don't see why they wouldn't work since they said they use USB 3.0. So with that being said, you're going to have the most terrible parties in history on the Xbox Live if we're all using Kinect.
So what happened when the guy was using Kinect? Could you just like hear other people?
It was like a perpetual noise because it's coming out of the TV.
There.
But no. It's like, say if he shot the gun, you would hear
feeding
like
back.
The same,
you can literally just hear the gun in the back.
So it was just looping back into. Oh my god!
Yes, it was. You could hear that one shot about 3 times.
Yeah, that doesn't get annoying.
If Larry says something, we would hear Larry say something, then we would hear it come out of his TV and be picked up by the Kinect again.
Yep.
Oh man, that is awful.
Fun.
It sounded, I mean, it was just awful. Like, I'm pretty sure we got destroyed. Whatever game we was playing, we got destroyed because nobody could concentrate. It was just a big jumbled noise the whole time. There wasn't even a real distinguishable sound. And 8 people playing like that, let's have an average party be 4 people. 4 people just looping noise.
Let's say after that conference, and Sony, came out there devastated like none had ever done before them. It was, when they have the journalists going around asking questions, talking to execs and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Microsoft just fucking refused to acknowledge the truth. Like they didn't want to hear it. Like when Matrick was talking to Keeley, I guess that's how you pronounce his name. When he was talking to Keeley, and he said, well, what are people supposed to do who, don't have a reliable connection? And his response is, if you're on a nuclear sub, we can't help you.
That really helps.
Arrogant as fuck. I mean, like you just want to hit him.
When 35% of the country doesn't have the internet, your response is telling them they're on a nuclear sub because they don't have the internet.
He saw somebody on the net say, what am I supposed to do? I'm on a nuclear sub. Well, that guy's the only one that has a problem. No,
it's not.
No, it isn't.
I literally, my internet would go out every day around 5 o'clock for 6 months, and it wouldn't come back on until sometimes the next day, or sometimes it'll be out for 2 or 3 days or a week.
Well, if you had an Xbox One,
that's not even the point. Even if you have an absolute reliable connection, it still brings up the problem that if you have to be online to check in so they can play Big Brother and see if you're up to something and all that kind of shit, you don't really own those games anyway.
No, you're renting them. You're renting everything.
You're leasing everything indefinitely. Like somebody said, like those fanboy wars got heavy after Sony played that power card. And this guy said, I don't know what all the Sony people are so happy about. A lot of the games they show, we get them anyway. Well, he's like, I have this fanboy friend who was so excited about Kingdom Hearts 3 and Final Fantasy 15. We're getting the games too. And this other dude responded back to him. He said, the only difference is your friend is going to own those games, and you're not.
Then, from what I'm hearing, if you get banned from Xbox Live,
which is happening for no reason for people,
you lose those the content licenses for those games.
Oh yeah,
so
you can't get
play
them back
anymore.
You have to buy them again.
The game sounds like a fucking nightmare. I'm sorry. I have not put up with that.
Dude, it's just legal proceedings waiting to happen. That's all it comes down to.
There's just no reason for it. It doesn't make any sense.
It's gonna be a nightmare.
Well, look, and this is my thing why I don't understand what people are getting confused. All this perpetual service that Microsoft keeps talking about, those same perpetual services were announced by Sony in February. If you have a game and you start downloading the game at a certain point before it's finished, whether it be 25, 50%, you can start playing that game. Oh. That's what Microsoft was using as their selling point, things we had already heard. The difference is if you don't have an internet connection and you bought a PlayStation 4, guess what? You don't have to worry about not being able to use your system. I'm not talking about watching TV. I'm not talking about watching Blu-rays or anything like that. We're talking about playing video games. If you have a PlayStation 4, you get to play your game still.
You can still go to Walmart, GameStop, Best Buy, your friend's house for Christmas, your birthday, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Play any game you want. Don't have to worry about any online check-ins. Don't have to worry about paying fees for used
And
games.
what's sad is that Sony won E3 on an issue that shouldn't have even fucking existed.
Something that
It should
should
have
standard.
never been an issue.
It wasn't created until Microsoft
It's sad
decided
that
it was
Microsoft
one.
created a situation in which they had to come out and explain that no, we don't have, our system doesn't do that because we live in the fucking real world where people aren't going to put up with that.
It's there's people going to buy it anyway, and it's just
Of course.
I'm like, why? And don't get me wrong. I mean, there's they really pushing for it to be like an all-in-one console with TV and the
You watch TV on the
internet
PlayStation.
and everything. And granted, there are people who that's for, who would want that. But this is a gaming system. This is number one purpose is to play games.
Yeah.
And you're just making it really, really hard to do that. I mean, if I want to watch TV while I'm playing the game,
I mean, that's just like all that red tape.
use a tablet. I don't know. Use my
You
phone.
can.
My phone can do it. Like, my phone's got Netflix. It's got Pandora. It's got everything.
It's got all that same stuff.
Come on, though. You don't want to watch Andy Griffith on your Xbox One?
I could watch Andy Griffith on WGN on my cable that I got.
For right
They
now.
play
It's
it.
probably
Matlock. In the heat of the night, I got them all. I can do it.
And they came out there with that smug fucking look on their face.
Like they had this shit.
Yeah, like
Stupid.
they got this shit. Like like nobody's ever fucking heard of cable.
Yeah.
Like nobody watches TV.
Somebody watches TV.
Like we're giving you something you never had before. I was
It's like a dude. who's-
What about fancy on football?
I don't even like. I don't like real football. It just it just ain't my bag, man.
Now, granted, a lot of their
But can't you
sponsors
get wait a minute?
consumer-based.
Can't you get a fantasy football ticker on your goddamn phone?
Yeah,
I have
you
a
go on the
fantasy
internet
football
and
updater on my phone because me and Larry play fantasy football, and we'll be updating our fantasy football probably through our computers and phones.
Yeah.
Not through our Xbox. I don't want to update my fantasy football team through my Xbox.
I could go on
We're
a
talking about
DirecTV and do that.
Yeah,
exactly.
we were talking earlier. It's killing the immersion in the game. Like I'm the Dragonborn. I'm turning into a vampire. I'm going on quest, and I want to see all this football shit popping up in the right corner of the screen while I'm doing it.
Yes, you do.
It's
And,
killing the immersion, man. It's all this multitasking, all this,
right.
like this attention deficit shit. Like I don't need.
And-
I want to focus on one thing.
There may be a way to call the notifications and stuff off. I'm not sure.
Sure, it
There
is,
may-
but it's just.
But another thing is like all these features are kind of cool and stuff like that, and you might use them, but they shouldn't be your selling points. There should be something like a bonus
They're supposed to be.
that
a
you
bonus.
should be able to do.
That's why
they'd
Sony
all be
spent 5
full
seconds
features.
talking about it because it's supposed to be a bonus.
Yeah, like when they started talking about TV, I was like, do not pull a Microsoft here. And they talked about it. They couldn't have been talking about it for 10 whole minutes before they moved.
To some more games.
Yep.
Because that's what you came here for. You want to buy a device to play games on. You already got your Netflix device. Matter of fact, Sony even pointed out the fact that PlayStation 3 was the most used device for Netflix.
For Netflix.
Netflix, yeah.
So I mean, what are you promoting here?
Do you know a big part of that reason is because if you're the type of person that ain't deeply into online stuff and you don't want to pay for Xbox Live, you don't even have the right to use those programs. You have to pay for your internet service. Then you have to pay for Xbox Live Gold to have the opportunity to pay for Hulu Plus or Netflix. That's
Right.
ridiculous.
So that's like 3 different bills you have just doing
Just to
one
get
thing.
to Netflix.
Just to get to
Yep.
Netflix. I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, apparently every person has disposable income like that, and people can say what they want. Oh, if you don't have money, you shouldn't be playing
I
games
could
and
be
stuff.
rich and I still wouldn't support these practices.
it doesn't make sense.
It doesn't. It's a hobby that's supposed to be able to fit a budget. That's why you have the option of buying used games. And I'm gonna just bring up the Kinect again. If you go on Xbox Live and say you want to buy a Kinect game, a lot of those games are $20, $30, $40. You can go right down to GameStop. Those games are $10
Right.
or less. $5. it doesn't fit what they're trying to sell. Like you're trying to tell someone that a person who's been a bargain shopper, you wouldn't tell a person that they couldn't buy a shirt on sale. Like oh, you couldn't spend $100 for that shirt, but you can buy it for 15. You don't deserve to wear that shirt. What?
What you fucking retarded?
You got to sign over the licenses right to put it on, man. It's got to match your ID and all. Like, man, get out of here.
If you want a certain vacuum cleaner and
I understand that
cleaner's $200, you go find it for 20.
I understand that for purely digital games, but even the way it works now, it's nowhere near that complicated.
I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I prefer having physical copies.
Me too. I know one day it's probably gonna be phased out, but even then.
But even me, I still
there's gonna have to be some kind of system put in where it's not this heavy DRM stuff. Like even now, the only game I can even think of that has DRM is like that Magic Sword Final Fight combo on PlayStation.
Yeah, it's not even worth having.
It's almost not even worth having.
I use Steam a lot. I have like 40 something games on Steam or something. I don't know. And it uses DRM, and I get it. It's fine. I mean, they have really good sales and stuff like that. But
a lot of those games don't actually have DRM.
And I mean, you can make them to where if you can play them when you're offline, you have to like verify it or something like that. But I prefer having physical copies of everything.
Mm-hmm. I prefer something that I know is mine.
Right.
Like even with digital stuff like Sky Pilgrim versus the World and Monkey Island, all these games I got on my PS3. Like if the internet goes out, I can still play those games. They're mine.
Yeah.
Yep.
If something happens to my PlayStation, I can literally go to the PlayStation Network site on the computer, put in all my sensitive information and reset all of the licenses, then get a brand new PlayStation and download all my stuff again. It's mine.
I did it.
They made it clear that it's mine.
And like you can do it with Nintendo as well. I mean, it's kind of stupid because Nintendo makes you pay like $1 or something to download it again, which is, I mean, it's kind of dumb. Yeah, like if you bought a game, you have to you can transfer it over, but it's weird as to how they do it. Like if it's a game on the Wii, and you can use the Wii emulator that's on the Wii U and you can play it like that. But if you want to, I don't know, man, it's just really weird. Like if you didn't.
I'm trying to get a Wii U now. When I get a Wii U, I've seen the process where you start transferring stuff over and they show like the little Pikmin.
Right.
With your information. That doesn't cost anything, does it?
Right. If you do it that way, you don't have to pay for it, if I'm not mistaken. But if you just download it all again from the Wii
U directly.
From Wii U directly, yeah. I don't know, man. It's weird because I didn't have to pay anything for my stuff.
Okay.
So I don't know. But I know there is a fee.
Uploaded?
Yeah, I already did it. I have to look that up and try to talk about it on the next podcast just to make sure. But I mean, like your 360 games don't transfer to the Xbox One. And let's say you do buy Xbox One and all those games you downloaded, what if they just stop supporting it 5-10 years down the road?
They will stop supporting
it. They will stop supporting it. What are you going to do with those games? Right now, you can go and boot up a game.
You're not going to be doing anything with those
PlayStation 2, NES, SNES, fucking Atari, whatever you want, and play it right now. You don't have to worry about this. It's
if I wanted to hook up if I wanted to, get my Dreamcast or my Sega Saturn out of the closet, nothing's going to stop me from playing.
And it's not to say it would get, that bad with Microsoft. I mean, they may make it to where after a certain amount of time, they'll cut off the online authentication or something like that.
What they need to do is cut it off altogether now.
Yeah, they do. But
they just don't want to admit. That's something else I thought about. They're arrogant. They don't want to say. They don't want to cut it off because then they'll be admitting they're wrong.
Right.
And but the longer they wait, the longer it's gonna.
The worse.
The worse it's gonna get because eventually they're either gonna have to cut this shit out or they're gonna fail.
They claim it's the future.
Yeah.
Just deal with it.
The future of Skynet?
It's a dark future where everybody fucking loses.
I'll just go play some.
I really would.
It's the Dalek Time Lord War. It's not going to end well on either side. The gamers are going to be fucked. They're going to be fucked.
There's plenty of games I missed on older systems I could happily go back and play.
Yep.
And the thing about it, man, is that if you just know that people are having this big of an issue with it, don't act like you're just that much above it where you're like, oh, they'll just come around, or the way they're acting is that either that we'll just come around to the ideal of it and just accept it, or that there's enough people that's going to buy their system that it won't even matter, which
Right.
is just
Sony are
that's
murdering
just
them in
terrible.
pre-orders right now.
They'll murder them in pre-orders. They're going to murder them in sales. It
Exactly.
took Sony to make all these AAA first-party titles to catch up in sales to the Xbox. When the Xbox got lackadaisical and stopped releasing a lot of first-party content
Yeah.
and a lot of exclusive content from third parties, that's why Sony caught up and passed them. I don't know where people get this notion that Sony lost, because they really didn't. They end up selling more consoles, and it wasn't because of rebuys, because of a failure rate that Microsoft had.
Yeah.
That's where a lot of their sales came from.
Microsoft's numbers are high because of rebuys. I know people in real life, not people I've talked to on the internet, that have bought 4 and 5 fucking systems because they
So
needed to play
Canards
that day.
died like 2 weeks ago.
Wow.
New model died.
Oh my God. Don't tell me
They
that.
told him
Mine
that
is
he
a new
needed to pay
model. Don't tell me that.
They told him he needed to pay $150 to get his system repaired.
I ain't gonna play shit.
I got the insurance on mine.
Well,
So
he bought a PS3, so he's back in the game.
hey, I got the insurance on mine. I got 3 years. So anything happen, they got to just pass me another one.
Hey, but guess what? He called them again. They said, hey, okay, you don't have to pay 150 for it. You can pay 120 for it, and then we'll give you a free Xbox
They're trying
Live
to like
Gold.
haggle now. What the hell is this?
Because they're failing.
Dude, I mean, at this point, it shouldn't even be an issue. If you can see my system's been registered, you see what the issue is. You know it's not an issue where I physically broke it.
It's your
And even
fault.
if I did
You did.
physically break it, you would be able to see it once you receive the system, and you could tell me, well, sir, we noticed that you have certain types of damage, and you'd have to pay this fee to get it fixed. Instead of that, no, you see it's an actual, hardware error that has occurred because you have a listing for that particular error, and you tell me I have to pay you to fix something that you obviously know is wrong with your systems.
And you know why they're doing it? Because people have went along with it.
Well,
that's
I
what
didn't. When my Xbox broke, they sent me a new one.
Well, it's like Marquis said. There's people who bought 4, 5, 6 different Xboxes,
Yep.
and and that's what they're hoping is going to happen with Xbox One. That people are just going to, go along with it, and
They're not as many
you
as
can't.
what they think.
People just got to stop and say no. There's a point when the stuff starts getting out of hand, and you got to stop. You have the power.
It's right now. This is
You're
what is
the
happening.
consumer. You're the one that spends the money. You don't have to do anything that you're not comfortable with, that you don't want to do. If you don't want to,
But these people are so hell-bent. I got to get these card maps. And man, fuck that.
Look,
Don't let
there's
them
other
fuck
options.
you.
Play it on the PlayStation 3.
No,
Play
but if I don't get it
PlayStation
on,
4.
I don't get it on Xbox One. I don't get the, I don't get the card maps early.
I love the train.
Man, you'll be
Yeah,
able to play
the
it.
trains next to my house is
That's
very
awesome.
loud. Yeah, I hate it. I hate it so much.
No, I mean, me and Larry were talking about this earlier. I said, Larry, I don't get this blind loyalty to Microsoft as a company, because this didn't happen until the Xbox 360. Because the PlayStation 2 sold 200 million units. That means everybody had a PlayStation 2. You know how I know that everybody had a PlayStation 2? Because everybody had one.
Had one.
You went to somebody's house, they had a PlayStation 2. That's
It was
what you
common
saw.
as seeing a TV in somebody's house.
Exactly. You saw a TV. It's like, we got a TV. It wasn't about what you had, what system you had. It's what games you had on PS2.
Everybody knew you had it.
You had one. Everybody. I knew plenty of girls in my school that had PS2s. They might have had 1 or 2 games like Grand Theft Auto, because everybody had Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah.
Some form of it. But they had a PS2. All of a sudden, Microsoft comes out and they have the party chat, and Call of Duty blows up. And all of a sudden, we're Xbox 360 or Microsoft to the death. Like, where did this come from? I don't understand. Even with the PS2 being in everybody's house. When the new systems came out, it was, what system are you getting? Not, I'm getting a PS3 because I had a PS2. People didn't say that about a Super Nintendo to 64. I went from SNES to a PlayStation. There wasn't some, I got a Super Nintendo, so I'm buying a 64 by default. It wasn't like that until now. And it's so weird to see people loyal to a company who has done nothing for you besides do what you give them the money to.
And they have like this blind loyalty, and I promise you, it's coming from new age gamers. And when I say new age gamers, I mean people who were around in the 90s but didn't play.
Yep.
And they coming in like, we're gamers. And they got this stupid attitude.
We're lawyers.
Yeah, they got this. That's the attitude they have. Like like they've read an EGM somewhere, or they've seen this in a Game Informer, and they've seen some stuff on TV and little internet sites and stuff like that, and they've decided, I'm going to be a gamer. What kind of gamer are you going to be? I'm going to be an Xbox gamer. I was like, dude, just play fucking video games.
Enjoy the hobby.
Quit all this role playing and all this team shit where you aligning yourself. Like, this is not football. Quit aligning yourself with a company. They're not teams. They're companies.
If it's different if you just you just enjoy Microsoft games more.
Yeah,
but
I don't
if
think
there's something that you don't like, but you still feel obligated that you have to support it, you don't.
But that's
an abusive relationship,
dude. It's too much. It's too damn far.
It's like an abusive relationship where you're getting beat on and you keep saying, but he loves me. I shouldn't have had his dinner. I should have had his dinner ready when he came home. That's why he beat me. It's my fault. They're making DRMs because I was stealing games. Did you ever steal a game? No, but I could have. So the DRM is here to protect me.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
It's like, you believe in that? You really think that they put DRMs in place to help the consumer? They didn't. Those quote-unquote persistent worlds they created, that is also achievable on the Sony systems, because if you're connected to online, you'll get those benefits. If you're not, then you can't get those benefits, but you get to use the system. The check-in thing is solely for them so that shareholders see that it'll be harder to pirate things, which means that the units will be sold more as far as the actual software, because it'll be too hard to pirate. That's what they're looking for. And it's going to be pirated.
Shareholders don't seem to realize they're not going to make money, though, if people aren't going to buy the product because of this shit at all.
But they are going to buy it.
Look at the pre-orders right now.
They are going to buy it. It's a marathon, sir. It's not a sprint. They're going to buy it.
Hey, this is a marathon, not a sprint. That's what. Who said it? Was it Matrick or whatever his name?
Yeah. That was.
He said that to me. It's not a marathon. It's not a sprint. It's a marathon. Dude, that was a bloodbath. I haven't seen like a company outright just jank another company.
It's been a long time. Yeah, it's been like the 90s since that happened.
Yeah, like I remember, like the last one I remember was like in '97 or something, where like the 64 was coming out, and there was a Sega commercial where they threw a 64 up into the air and shot it with a shotgun.
Yeah.
Like I hadn't seen that since.
You don't do that now.
You don't do that now, but now you do. Because they made it necessary.
You fucked up so bad
that video when Sony explains how to share a system. I watched that video like 100 times. This is the funniest shit ever to me.
It is. It's viral. I mean, it had like millions of views immediately.
Yeah, I saw friends of mine on Facebook posting this shit. They ain't gamers. Don't even care.
But they think that's funny.
But they thought this shit was funny.
Because it is.
Yeah.
Because like you said, this is an issue that has never been an issue and wasn't even thought of as an issue until Microsoft's conference came out. And that's when it became an issue.
And a lot of people's argument is, well, that's the way it's been on PC. Fuck PC. This is console gaming. You're not breaking that shit over here. That was the whole point.
Now, don't get me wrong. PC gaming, it's awesome. There's just some experiences that you can't get anywhere else. But
I'm saying,
consoles
like
and PCs
that
are different.
Consoles, we've never had them, and we sure as fuck want them now.
There's a difference why consoles are consoles and PCs are PCs.
Different experiences.
Game, different experiences. Console game guaranteed to work.
Yep.
You can share games as things that you know you can do. You're supposed to be able to do.
No questions asked. It's gonna happen. Yeah, and it's just hilarious. And then I don't know what people saw when Sony did that press conference. I don't know what they listened to, but everybody kept doing these rumors where like if Microsoft's doing it, Sony's doing it. And I'm asking people based on what information. Well, Sony hasn't made a statement about their used game policy. They made a statement. They said it's the same as the PS3.
I'm not gonna throw anybody's name out here. I'm not into that bullshit, starting internet feuds and shit like that. But somebody that does commentary about video games essentially said, like, you might as well get over it. Sony's doing the exact same thing. And even when that person posted it, I was like, no, the fuck they aren't.
Did you not watch the conference?
I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? I was like, it's not happening. And they're like, well, it's up to the publishers. I was like, it's up to the publishers in the same sense that it's up to them now. If they want to put in some kind of season pass, some kind of DRM of that type, that's their fucking business, and then you can decide whether or not you want to support them. But Sony themselves, it's not on their first party titles. It's not into the box. It's just like it always was. You stick the tape or the fucking CD into the system and you fucking play it.
In the store.
It's not the same thing.
That's it. We done.
I don't know what you want me to say. It's over with.
That's why Sony looked so weird when everybody kept asking about it. They were like, I didn't know this was an actual issue. Did we say something?
It made him nervous though, because when they immediately respond, you thought like, are they doing the same thing? But they honestly didn't know what the fuck they were talking about.
I mean, they said at the conference in February.
In February they said
their policy did not change. The only thing that was different was they got rid of the online passes from their games because their first party titles, like The Last of Us, which I just bought, has an online pass. They're removing them from those because they said it was just an inconvenience to consumers, which is the same thing EA said. And
yeah, but and then feeling EA said that shit because they knew what Microsoft was about to do.
Well, okay, I was going to address that now. EA said that there was never a meeting where they told Microsoft to put that into their console to institute some kind of policy. Like he said, the guy said he had been at all of their meetings. The president of EA said, I've been to all the meetings. There was never a conversation about that. We just removed the online pass because of the negativity it brought and because it was a hassle to the consumers. And he said, we will address the DRM situations with the systems accordingly, but there hasn't been a decision made. Microsoft basically turns around and says, no, all the developers told us we needed to have some form of DRM on our system.
So what's going on?
Well, I mean, either way it goes, their system already has it. So either they buckled under the pressure, or they did it thinking that would make third parties get on their side. Either way it goes, it backfired. And the third parties are now, even if the third parties did tell them to do it, they're not helping them on the argument anymore because they're looking like we don't know why Microsoft.
Everybody silent up against the wall. So I don't know what the fuck you thought he was doing.
Yeah, like they just everybody snitching on them. Like,
everybody like, oh no.
Yeah, EA is undecided right now what they want to do with that. So
I mean, they can do what they want to. I don't really support most of that company anyway. And the only time I do, well, technically I didn't support most of their stuff last console because like Dead Space and stuff, I just game flighted it for the single player because the passes were for online and I don't care about that for those games. I mean, I plan on buying Battlefield just because I like what DICE does with that series. But for the most part, I don't really support EA products, so I don't care what they do. I really don't.
Yeah, and I'm like you. I'm going to get Battlefield, but I will be getting it for the PC. So it kind of doesn't help Microsoft at all.
Yeah, I mean, whatever console at this point, they're not going to be as many Xbox One sold as they thought they were going to do because they said something about reaching 1 billion units, which is just astronomically retarded.
A billion of anything,
that's not gonna
literally,
happen.
it's just I don't know what that means.
I don't get it. You couldn't sell 100 million Xbox 360 with people having to buy 4 or 5 of them in what? Let's see, it came out in 2005, so nearly 10 years. You couldn't sell 100 million units?
It was completely unrealistic for them to even throw that number out there.
No console has been sold half a billion. Well, I mean, with advances in modern medicine and our high amount of money, I mean, I'm pretty sure we can make it happen.
Sure, we can sell about 1 billion.
Yeah, we can sell about 1 billion. They put a Pixar in the Russian guy one time. I mean, he died, but it's just crazy that they did that so we could sell 1 billion units.
Yeah, I don't know what they thought.
So, I mean, good luck to them. But, I mean, as far as I'm concerned right now, it is a PlayStation 4. It will be a Wii U. There will be a 3DS. And then, lastly, I will take the remaining, what would have been Xbox One money, and we'll go towards getting the Vita just so I can have total connectivity to the PlayStation, just to stick it to Sony a little more. I mean, stick it to Microsoft.
Yeah, I'm working on getting a Wii U now. I actually canceled my pre-order for Last of Us. I'm trying to round up some funds here.
Battleship Boy over here is the closest to the complete set over here. He's about to collect the whole group. He just need a PS4 at this point.
I just need that PS4. And I'll be doing pretty good.
Hey, he bastard.
Yeah, I'm quite jealous.
Hey.
Trying to enjoy stuff.
Hey.
Like I'm trying to get a Wii U, and then I'm probably gonna wait until around April or May of next year to see, exactly what the failure rate, if there's any hiccups with the PS4.
You know what's crazy
I'll
about
probably
that?
get one there.
Why do we have to remember failure rates for other consoles? Because I don't.
I mean, they had them, but it was never like as wide.
It was never really a thing.
Nothing
And
was
even
as
if they
wide
were,
blown as the Red Ring, though. That
I
was
mean,
something.
even if they were, you could just send like, "Hey, man, my system just didn't work," and they'll be like, "Oh, really? That's strange. Send it in."
Yeah.
Send it in. We'll replace it for you.
Not other this. Oh, that's what happened. Well, that's going to
Now you
cost you
gotta
such and such.
verify shit and pay extra money, and you gotta. Oh my gosh!
Hey, I'm not dealing with
And
this.
and I guess who started that? Microsoft.
With the Red
And
Ring of Death, one of the
and
biggest
look, let's
blights in gaming.
to not say that they like just this sinister, terrible company who's shipping out like half a console to people and everything. They did some good things for the gaming industry. That their whole online infrastructure set the model for other companies.
Yeah,
I'll give them that. But then they just don't seem to get it. They don't understand that you have to still consider the consumer to a degree. Like we are going to be the ones that give you money. You want to consider making us happy to some degree.
And they had like, what's weird though is they had like the customer is a part of the company as if like, that's their job to buy stuff. They don't have a choice. That's what they're gonna have to do. So if we make this, and that, then they're just gonna buy it. They're gonna have to buy it. They don't have a choice. Yeah, they do fucking have a choice. It's called a free market. They do have a fucking
there's
choice.
always a choice. But even if the choice is not buying anything at
It's
all,
not. Yeah, exactly.
you've got the choice.
Exactly.
And that can happen. And they're acting like
And
it
that
can't
can
happen.
I'm like, oh, if you don't, if you have a problem with connectivity and you don't have any connectivity, we have a product for you. It's called a 360.
You said you use a
And
PlayStation 4? Is that what you said? You said I should get a PlayStation 4. That's
that's
what I
what
heard.
That's basically what you're
dude.
saying.
I promise you, like, if you can find that clip easy as hell because it's floating everywhere.
Of course it
But
is.
when he said that Jeff Keighley, his body language and the way he went back, you could tell he was like,
Oh, really?
you shouldn't have said that. He was like, and then he said like, so that's your message, stick with 360. And it's like he was giving him an opening, like, you need to correct that.
No. You shouldn't have said that.
Yeah, like that's basically what he was saying.
No.
He was like, you need to rephrase that. And then he basically says the same thing twice, but the answer that's running through everybody's head is, fuck it, get a PS4.
Get a Wii U. I mean, you
Buy a
can
Get
either
a
PC.
one.
Wii U.
Get a PC.
Yeah,
if I
but he
want to play
basically said if you
Titanfall.
wanted next gen experience, if you wanted the next gen experience, you weren't allowed to have one. That's what he fucking said.
Right.
Because that's the way we made our system. And he said it like it was the only fucking system. Like, like he wasn't competing against nobody at E3.
They're not.
Right.
I mean,
And
we're in the league
technically
of our
they
own.
weren't, dude. It was like a group
Against-
of, like that conference, the Xbox conference and the PS4 conference, dude. It was like a group of toddlers playing against a fucking 1990 Chicago Bulls, man. They got killed.
They didn't suck the talent out of the basketball.
They lost.
They was the Monstars without the powers, because he was bigger than we used to.
be, but we still small because we
They
fucked
kicked
up.
their ass, man. Every E3, everybody's like, no, Sony won. No, Nintendo won. No, Microsoft won. Every goddamn E3. There was no fucking debate. I saw a couple of people saying, Nintendo won E3, and I saw a couple of people saying the Xbox conference blew out the Sony conference. You are living in a fucking fantasy. It didn't happen.
I mean, if you honestly think Nintendo won, hey, if that's what you wanted to see, then yeah, you could say they won. I
can see that, but like with
Yeah.
Microsoft, they lost.
Oh no,
There's
that's
just
They
no
beat
way you can-
themselves.
But wait a
They
minute.
did.
They got Killer Instinct though.
let's
They won.
Dude,
They won.
Dude, I'm so tired of talking about it because I hate to keep saying it. Killer Instinct does not look good. I know that's a famous name and we all wanted to see it come back. That game looks weird.
Well, people
look
have already come out that used to work for Rare, who worked on the actual, Killer Instinct
Yeah.
games. They pretty much said, the people who actually made Killer Instinct are not making Killer Instinct, so you're not getting the same game. So
why does it look like Street Fighter 4? Like I don't.
it looks like Street Fighter 4 because they wanted to make it look like a popular fighting game. Also, half of the cast of the original Killer Instinct will not be in the game because they said they wanted to make room for more female fighters.
Let me say it like this. Think about this for a minute. Completely clear your mind. Make your mind a blank. And imagine seeing Killer Instinct for the first time. You don't know nothing about Killer Instinct. You never heard of it.
Right.
All you've seen is that footage. Does that game look very good?
No.
All right then.
It
Like,
looks.
with
I mean, it
Mortal
doesn't
Kombat,
look
think
awful.
about like with
It just looks average. It looks
like
really, really average.
like think about
eh.
with Street Fighter 4, you had with Street Fighter 4 you had veterans working on Street Fighter 4. With Blaze Blue, you had the Guilty Gear people working on it. That's their game. And then with Mortal Kombat 9, you still had Boone and the crew essentially still working on that. That's why you got those games. That's why you got those great games. Like they knew what they were doing. I don't think this company knows what it's doing.
They made G.I. Joe Rise of Cobra. They made Battleship the game, which I wouldn't even agree to work on.
I
I'm
didn't even know
sorry.
that was a game, by the way.
I didn't
They
understand how it could be a game.
They made Silent Hill Homecoming, which
And
that
now they're
turned out to be.
transitioning to Killer Instinct, the legacy game.
Yeah.
That's
I mean, if
I'm
that's your
bold,
look, if you had to pick a fighting game to bring back, it's on the list. I mean, of course you would want to get it, but how do they get it?
yeah. How did they get that?
Yeah, that's true. How did they get that?
Because they had meetings, pitch meetings, and Microsoft said they had the best pitch meeting. I feel like they had the cheapest pitch meeting.
We're trying to get this out as cheaply, as quickly as possible.
That's what I feel like they're doing.
It's unbelievable what Microsoft did. They're completely rejecting reality and saying eventually you'll see things our way, but we're not going to. Like, there's nothing. I'm not going to wake up tomorrow and say, maybe they were right. Maybe those all are good features.
Well,
And they keep saying this over and over again. They keep saying, it's very beneficial. I was like, yeah, to fuck you and the rest of the fucking execs. It ain't beneficial to us in any kind of way. You took all our rights away.
Look at the pre-orders. Look at the pre-orders. Amazon.
You don't even
GameStop.
Yeah, I pre-ordered
Best Buy. Even Walmart.
I pre-ordered just as a placeholder, just in case.
No, that's getting bought. It's happening. That PS4 is getting purchased.
I don't know what they were thinking. It was unbelievable.
Well, I mean, that's pretty much where it's at this point.
Yeah.
I still enjoy E3 for laughs and for the games I did see and games that we'll probably be getting. All of us at some point.
Yeah.
So I think it's still a good year for gaming, especially with all the new stuff that's coming out on all the consoles.
Yeah.
Just that certain companies made terrible decisions and they have to either go back on them and admit they were wrong, or they just have to live with the impending failure that they're going to receive. It's going to happen.
They made a mistake, and sometimes you have to pay for those mistakes. They're going to pay for those. They're going to pay for those mistakes when they realize that Sony is dominating the market, and they're going to end up with a ridiculous amount of the market share.
Oh, they will.
They're going to dominate.
Their user base is going to expand, and Microsoft user base
and
is
everybody's
quite small.
You see all these people online saying, "Oh, these are just the fanboys pretending to love Xbox. Nobody's actually leaving Xbox for it." Yeah, they are, and they're doing it in fucking mass. It is a mass exodus to Sony. They are doing it.
Part in the game and see.
Yeah.
Being part by DRM is just spreading it open. Walk right through. All right, so we can go ahead and conclude it here.
Yeah, we'll just leave it there.
And we'll be back with some more, some new content. Stay tuned for it. Got some ideas or some things that won't be necessarily gaming news. It'll be gaming related. I think you will enjoy it. It should be fun, funny, and very entertaining.
Yes, it should.
Signing out, Doc Dastardly.
Yeah, signing out, Keith's Arcade.
I don't know what those guys are doing, but I guess it's the end of the podcast. So
forever.
Forever. We're going to retire. No, we'll be back. We got some good stuff like Dare said. Well, my bad. Have to edit that out.
You edited his. Hey, you released his identity. He's lost all his power now.
That's what you people.
Okay,
yeah.
Keep it in there.
Yeah.
I mean, you can say my name. I don't care. But
I did already.
Oh, yeah, I think we all said each other.
I know I said Marquise's name too.
But this is what we wanted to do. We wanted to make it a little more, a little more realistic and less formal. So this is good.
It was kind of stiff. I noticed that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean,
so Larry will now be officially Larry Too Nasty forever, and for now.
Just Larry Nasty since Sony censored his name on.
Larry Nasty.
Oh no.
Are we still recording?
Yes, we are.
We are
Nasty.
And all of this is going in. I'm not in.
Yeah, there's
okay,
no
fine.
stop.
That's fine.
All right. So
you not going to bed? I'm playing Borderlands 2. I don't know about y'all.
Yeah, I got.
I'm gonna play some video games.
Yeah, I know.
I'm like y'all. I have things to do tomorrow. Company man.
Company man. Ooh.
Yeah, real fancy and sophisticated.
I drink my coffee black. All right.
All right. Till next time.
All right.
Okay.
Peace.
Bye.